Yo guys, and welcome on in. Hopefully you saw the other video covering ML Celine plus the other patch preview stuff you may have missed, upcoming content. I also mentioned Charlotte, and then we talked a little bit about Remnant Violet and By Which I Say. Make sure y'all check that as well. But today, in this video specifically, let's talk about the 3 slime units that are confirmed. Unfortunately, guys, it is maybe not unfortunately. I'm really happy with I'm happy overall that we get a collab, but it's Rimuru, we get Milim, and then we get Shuna, who is the free unit. Let me know how y'all... I saw in the last, guys, appreciate all the comments in the last video talking about the collab. I saw all the ones you wanted. I think some of y'all wanted these 3, but there was some I definitely know y'all missed out on. Benimaru, Shion for me, things like that. So anyways, let's go ahead and cover their... let's just do a quick, first impression, reaction kind of style video that we do on these. I'll talk about maybe my thoughts on where they'll be used, and then... Rimuru's going to be officially out this week, so I'll be pulling for him. I'll make a video on him specifically, because when I get to play him, I can definitely tell y'all if I think you should summon or not. And then next week, we will be able to summon for Milim. But Shuna will be free. I think we can start getting her as early as this week. Just don't forget with like Ram, guys. If Shuna is free, try to save. Don't promote her to 6-star off the bat. Wait till we get all the copies, because hopefully they give us enough to triple S her off the bat. Okay, make sure you use her to promote herself to 6-star while getting the imprint concentrations, basically. But without further ado, let's go ahead and look at Rimuru, a pacifist slime. By the way, watch the anime, guys. I think a lot of y'all will like it. I think some of y'all did end up watching it after my recommendation, but if you haven't already, check it out. Alright, so passive slime, dreaming of coexistence with all species. Yeah, sounds accurate. So attack, self-imprint, and effect resist, team imprint. The one thing, guys, hold on, let me go back there real fast. Hopefully my internet doesn't lag. Yeah, he's an earth warrior, which I was not really expecting. I thought for sure he'd be ice. What did y'all think? Warrior seems okay, but I was thinking more like ice mage. And then Milim also threw me for a loop, but we'll get to her in a second. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at the skill 2, because there's a lot we have to unpack with Rimu, guys. Analyze and assess. After attacking with a non-basic skill, copies 2 buffs. So this is our first buff copier unit. When the target is buffed, regardless of whether the attack hits. So that's really nice. And grants their effect to all allies. So it's kind of like Moonlight Rin's steal and give to all allies, but instead he just kind of copies it regardless of whether the attack hits, and this effect is not applied to undispellable buffs. So no, let me think of an example. No Mind's Eye or, what is it, Vigor on like Violet. Buffs that can't be dispelled, it says it will not apply to that. When an ally is attacked by a buffed enemy, so not only will he steal buffs and he doesn't steal them, but he copies the buffs that we want to bring him versus buffed units. And furthermore, when one of his allies, including himself, is attacked by a buffed enemy, activates Be Ready against the attacker. So Be Ready quickly approaches the enemy and attacks, increasing combat readiness and caster by 30%. So he'll get like a counter style attack and give himself a big CR push. Okay. So we definitely want to bring him versus a lot of buffs, guys, which is not that hard in this current meta. Made Chloe, even kind of Amelia sometimes. So it can only be active once every 3 turns. Looks pretty cool, I guess. Just a basic counter attack, dashing style move with big CR push. Yeah. Okay. Skill 3, Devour It, Black Flame. Attacks the enemy with Black Flame, and a 6th attack will inflict 5,000 additional fixed damage. Very interesting. Is this our first, like... No, we have some fixed damage artifacts, I believe, but nothing at 5,000. That's kind of interesting. And then the fixed damage will increase proportional to the number of buffs granted to all allies. So when he copies the buffs and gives them to his allies, that can go up to a maximum of 10,000 fixed damage, which is okay. It's obviously strong, and that'll be good versus super tanky units, or units that are like Tempest Turn or what we just saw, Spirit Eye Celine, I believe. I'll have to find that out, guys. Let me know what y'all think. Would fixed damage means it doesn't change, but I think Celine and Tempest Turn will still cut that in half, correct? What do y'all think? I'm pretty sure that, yeah, they'll mitigate it, but that's kind of an interesting interaction there. When the target is buffed, decreases defense of all enemies for 2 turns. Holy crap. We all know how decrease or defense break is so powerful, and that's unaffected by elemental disadvantage. So when the target is buffed, decrease defense of all enemies for 2 turns. My goodness. If you fight opponents that like doing Protect the Land or something, they just stack debuffs, DN, whatever it might be with Mei Chloe, you're in for bad news if you leave out Rimu. This slime will destroy you. That's how it looks. Let's see how it looks, I mean. So the black flame. Okay. So it's a single target skill, but then if the target he's attacking is buffed, it'll do up to 10,000 damage and then decrease defense of all enemies. Interesting, interesting. Okay. The fact that it's unaffected by elemental disadvantage is really strong too. So he gets random buff to the caster and cuts the enemy to attack. Alright, I'm not a big fan of his animations, I'll be honest guys. It seems okay, but it looks a little awkward. Immunity increases critical hit the buffs you can get is immunity, crit hit resistance, which is probably the worst one, increase attack, and then increase effect resist. So these two, pretty bad, but if you get immunity or increase attack, those are kind of nice. I mean, honestly, increased crit hit resist is not bad. Increased effect resist is probably not great unless we're doing some weird build. But yeah, it's a pretty basic S1. Now, in combination with the artifact, though, this is a Justice for All Charles's artifact for warriors. And guys, this is kind of what I was hoping not to see, because the buffs look really good. Immunity, increased attack, increased defense, increased crit damage, increased speed. These are all very nice buffs. But just like Justice for All, it's going to be 75% chance at plus 15, 100% chance at max. So this is one of those limited artifacts that if you did want to run it, guys, and it does seem pretty dang strong, especially because I'm sure a lot of other warriors can make use of this too. Yeah, we're going to want to max that bad boy. So get those powder ready to get one copy, guys, and then good luck on your summons as well. As for Rimu, though, I have no clue, guys, how I plan to use him, but he definitely seems very, very interesting. We definitely want to bring him against buffed units, and then in which case we can copy. And there's so many synergies built around these buff mechanics. He has things that'll help him, like the skill 1 that grants a random buff, plus the anti-magic mask if we wanted to run it will grant him buffs as well. But the defense break, the fixed damage, the ignore elemental disadvantage, I think he's definitely gonna have a spot somewhere. Definitely seems very, very strong. Super strong kid. So the first one, guys, already pretty dang crazy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, who I'm more excited for this one, even though maybe I'm not sure how strong she'll end up being. Admittedly, guys, I only saw the patch preview and my internet was lagging, so I couldn't catch too much of it. So let's watch it together for the first time. Milim. And in the story, not to spoil anything, guys, but she's very, very strong in the actual anime if you haven't watched it yet. One of the strongest characters lore-wise. So this is interesting. She's a fire mage. I thought she'd be a fire warrior, right? A bruiser. Now, she still might be a bruiser, surprisingly. You'll see what I mean in a second. But it's interesting that she's a mage. So Dragon Eye, Milim's Eye. I love these little artworks. At the start of the battle, has a 70% chance, which should be 100% after Mola's, to grant Dragon's Eye to the caster for one turn. So it's at the start of the battle and at the end of the turn. So kind of like Remnant Violet, when the caster is granted Dragon Eye, dispel stealth from all enemies. That's really good, guys. I mean, it's just automatic. And goodbye stealth. So guiding lights, things like that. It shouldn't work against Spectre Tenebria because I believe her skill 2 is unique and it's not really a stealth mechanic, but everything else that's very annoying and out of reach. Kisei after stealth, if she was going first, units like Guiding Light Landies, Guiding Light Cereses, whatever might have you that's in stealth, Tempest Surins, she's going to be able to see them with her Dragon Eye and dispel it, which is just so good. That's really nice. Ignores effect resist as well. And then when focus, she's a focus style unit. Could be bad, could be good, because there are anti-focus. Consumes all focus to activate Dragon Buster, which, let's look at it here real fast. Alright, pretty awesome, pretty awesome. I will say though, guys, the animations though, overall, I feel like they're not the best we've seen. Obviously, they still look really good because I might be biased because I just love slime, so I recognize the skills. But they look a little bit not quite as good as some of the other ones in the past. But not a big thing to complain about. Just something I noticed. But Dragon Buster attacks all enemies, removing 10 souls. So AoE attack that removes souls when she's full focus. And then she has... Ooh, so Dragon's Eye will give herself some 20% evasion, hit chance, and then it cannot be dispelled as well. Okay. Looks good. Very, very nice skill 2. Skill 3, Dragon Fear. Acquires 2 focus, acquires 3 souls, and it's a 4 turn after Mola. Inflicting extinction with enemies defeated. Increase evasion of the caster for 3 turns. So she'll have increased evasion on skill 3, guys, and a passive evasion on skill 2. Which I believe, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but that should be 70% total. I believe the increased evasion is 50%, and then 20% from her passive Dragon Eye will make her a 70% evasion unit. When the enemy is not an elite or boss monster, damage sharing effects are ignored. So they always have to leave that for PvE units, otherwise she'd be too strong. Or PvE bosses. But she ignores damage share, so think of units like top model Luluka. And she does extinction. Very, very similar to top model Luluka. Alright, did they show how it looks? Dragon Dive attacks the enemy, recovering health proportional to damage dealt before increasing attack of the caster for 1 turn. Soul Burn grants an extra turn. Okay, so I could see a lot of people running book, giving yourself attack up and doing the extinction, the skill 3 for the extinction. Now, I kind of want to build her, let's finish looking at her kit first before I talk about how I plan to build her. Really cool skill 1 though. Looks awesome. He just punches you with a Dragon Dive, so it gives attack up. And here we go, guys. This thing, I think a lot of people were freaking out over this, but this will be a counter attack for mages. Another one, guys, that if you do plan to use this, we're gonna want to max it. So just like the Rimuru artifact, my goodness, get those bookmarks ready. When the caster suffers a non-critical hit at max, it'll be 30% chance to counterattack. So for her specifically, guys, the fact that she has a lot of evasion, those count as non-critical hits, meaning she'll do a 30% chance to counterattack and give herself attack up. Skill 1, besides the attack up, I don't think anything really to write home about. It doesn't proc any crazy AoE counters or anything like that, like Bellion. But I do think for her, if we wanted to build, there's a viable build to do either counter set without the artifact, or just have this and make her kind of a bruiser that could counterattack with these upgraded Dragon Knuckles. Otherwise, I think the main build will be taking advantage of the extinction, use the souls to give yourself attack up, and then lead into that, yeah, skill 3 extinction, that big damage. But overall, the anti-stealth, guys, very unique. The dodge chance, the evasion, plus the hit chance, I think she's going to be very nice. A super good unit. Will be nice versus Violets, will be nice versus stealth units. She could either be built a little bit tanky with counters, or you can build her like a top model Luluka style. Very versatile as well. This is my favorite unit. I think Rimuru versus buffs may be overall stronger, because the whole ignore or defense break plus the ignore elemental disadvantage thing is kind of crazy. But I think Milim is also very exciting. Good job on the kits overall. We'll see how strong they end up being together. Or not together, but, you know, just how strong they end up being in the meta. But overall, very nice kits. And last but not least, the free unit. Here we go. Yeah, let's go look at Shuna, the free unit. And this one I barely got to see your skills, guys, because my stream was cutting out so badly earlier. So I'm excited to see this together with y'all. First impressions together. Alright, here introduction. Make sure you guys let me know what you think about all these, by the way. And if there's anything I'm missing outside of the box, kind of combos y'all are thinking of, builds. So, effect resist, imprint concentration, and then health. And remember, guys, you'll probably be able to triple S her for free if we look at the other free units that have been given in the past. So skill 2, Blooming Lotus, dispels 2 debuffs from all allies. Very nice, typical of a Soul Weaver. And redistributes health of all allies to be equal before granting a barrier for 3 turns. This is very similar to... who is it? Shooting Star Arcades. Usually it'll just work out to be a full heal or a very strong heal. So don't really worry too much, guys, about the redistribute health. But typically, yeah, it's just a big heal. It'll get benefits to the lowest health unit. They'll get a ton of healing, and then, you know, it'll adjust it all. But overall, just think of it as just a really nice heal that also grants a barrier. And the barrier increases proportional to the caster's max health. So nothing super crazy here. There just maybe a different way that the amount of healing is determined. But overall, dispels 2 debuffs. Very similar to Shooting Star Arcades with a redistribute. Or just look at Amelia. Heal plus debuffs. Cleanse plus barrier. Yeah, typical Soul Weaver skill. It is on the skill 2 though. I think most of these are usually on like skill 3s. Looks really good. Blooming Lotus. Skill 1, so her Magicule Explosion recovers health of the caster. Damage dealt increases properly caster max health. Okay, so this is just very basic HP scaling skill 1. Usually doesn't heal too much. But take note that her soul burn effect is grants an extra turn. So we could cycle back to the skill 2 and whatever the skill 3 is. Alright, looks pretty basic. Nothing to write home about, right boys? Yeah, he's talking about the extra turn now. And then skill 3. This one's interesting. I did catch this one earlier. It's cool to have a Soul Weaver that also has some sleep effects. So we can maybe run her in a control comp. Think of how like cleavers like to run like Fallen Cecilia's or things like that. This will help control comps maybe sustain with health while also providing the much needed both strip plus sleep. So the fact that she can sustain her team while also dispelling, which is huge for control comps, and then also a, what is that, 10, 20, is that 100% chance? No, what is that, guys? 10, 20, 25. That's 35%, so 85% chance. Sorry, that took so long. I'm embarrassed. 85% chance to put them to sleep for 2 turns and 2 sleep dispels. She's a very solid free unit, guys. Might be the most solid one. I could see her being used in PvP for sure. The sleep is actually not that strong in PvE stuff. Maybe some Abyss. Usually, a lot of mobs are immune to sleep, or sleep's just not that important. But yeah, I could see her definitely being used in PvP. She definitely strikes me as more of a PvP unit, especially if you want to run her control, heal control. But her artifact, which this one we should also be able to max out, I believe. So we'll probably be able to triple S her plus max this out, which means at max, straight increased effect resist, which is always nice. And we can run this on other Soul Weavers and increase effectiveness by 50% at the end of the caster's turn. That stacks. Besides her though, guys, excuse me, y'all, I didn't mean to sneeze there. Besides her, is there any other Soul Weavers that you all can think of that want effectiveness too? I think she's the main one that comes to mind at the moment. That's pseudo control plus Soul Weaver. But I'm sure there might be a few others that I just can't think of at the moment. Regardless though, the fact that this is free, so straight 20% increased effect resist, and if that Soul Weaver has any debuffs that you like, and speaking of hers is very important, the increased effectiveness stack is kind of nice as well. So definitely not complaining about this free artifact. Shuna, I think, guys, compared to the other free units that we've seen in the past, Soul and Ram, I think she'll have the most relevance in PvP. I wouldn't be surprised if I see her pop up in certain comps here and there. All right, guys. Anyways, that about covers all of it. Let me know. Here's what I want to see from y'all in the comments. Are these three heroes, are y'all cool with it? Which ones didn't come out that you wanted to see? I'm sure I'm gonna see a lot of Benimars and Xions. Anyone else though? Gabidu, Gobta. And overall, what do you think about, especially about the skill animations, the power of the kits, any kind of combinations that you think you want to share with people that you're already brainstorming? I love seeing what you all have in mind. But yeah, guys, we got a lot of stuff to take care of this week. A lot of new content. Thank you so much for watching. As always, check out the other video as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Rimuru summons and everything and testing on Thursday, guys. Peace out, everyone.